you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe. Everything is vibration. Yes, sir. So you might have to forgive me if I start howling. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in my front door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. Oh no. This is about algorithm. It just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Bye. And when you hear this beat right here, this is always a friendly reminder. Should you ever be up here in the mountains somewhere, hiking on a trail, and you encounter me being attacked by a bear, you better help the bear. That's what the fuck you better do. Bye. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, depending on where you are in the world? It's 8:51 in Narnia. Do you know what your motherfucking vibe is? If you haven't smiled yet today, now will be the perfect time to do so. Like right now. Heather Nielsen, how you doing this morning? And if you can't find a smile for yourself, shit, just allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, that's all the fuck I am, is the smile on your face. That's all I am, is the motherfucking vibe. Yo. And everything is vibration. Cynthia Renee. Hey. I'm actually going to record your reading today. So you will get it before the weekend is over. I know it's a little few days late, but I had some pressing matters. Now let's go here. Yo. We in this Aries full moon vibration. It's not about aggression, it's about assertion. We're finna talk about it in just a few minutes. But first, yeah, I got it like that. Just let it seep in. Because we're going to get down to the nitty gritty here in a second. And today the nitty gritty is just going to consist of us going through the transits. Us talking about this full moon vibration that we in. And then after that, we wing it. We don't need a plan. This Aries, we acting on impulse. Kayana, what's going on in the UK? Tell your mama I said, hey. Beats by PrIcElEs Music, my dude. What's cracking? We in this thing. Vibing like a motherfucker. I need something else gangster. Let me find something gangster. Hey, shout out to Mystical. Yo, what'd he say? The endo, the hydro, open up the window. I'm about to blow that fire. What y'all know about that purple weed? Huh? Shout out to Drum Dummy, man. He did this. I need like 9 more people, make it 10 to hit the like button. And that's when we'll get started. I just need as many likes as I have people in my chat, and that's just a matter of respect. And if you hear it, you ain't gonna hit the like button, what the fuck are you here for? What you doing? You creeping? You hating? Bitch, you swag sucking. Well, I hope you got a long throat. We got the dawn of light in there, bitch. Huh? From my reflection to yours. Cheryl Gray. We didn't come to play. Yo. That's the jam right there. Hold on, I'm finna take you to Texas. Fuck that. Hey. Yeah. Artemis, the astrologer. What's up, fam? Yo. We just vibing. I'm finna touch on the transits in just a second. Yo. I need like 10 more people to hit that like button for me. I ain't gonna do shit but get mad and go home. And don't get it fucked up. I am a Cancer with Leo placements. I will throw a temper tantrum. Yo. We just vibing anyway. I don't know what the fuck you doing with your life. We in this thing. Hold on. Let me find a different playlist. I'm fucking with it right now. Vanessa, how you doing? We finna get into the transits in just a second. Y'all, please bear with me. I need to get this out of my system. That means I need to get this in my system. Yeah. Empress Adele, the mother of John. How you doing? I need something else gangster and I can't find it. They don't want to play my gangster shit. No, we're not playing that again, my bro. Y'all ready to talk about what's going on cosmically? I don't think y'all ready. I need like 5 more people to hit the like button for me. Now, what we gonna do now is take a glide through the cosmos.
That boy is Benny Hanna.
Shout out to my boy Benny Hanna boy. He made this right here. He's a very awesome producer. Now, we have the sun sitting at 6 degrees of Libra right now. So, this is not only about beautifying your experience, it's about harmonizing your lifestyle. And see, with this full moon, the thing you gotta do is confront something within yourself. See, a lot of people think avoiding confrontation is the way to achieve harmony in their lifestyle. But no, sometimes you gotta seek out that conflict. Sometimes you gotta address some shit in order to achieve balance. No. Sometimes you gotta take action. Let me tell you something. It's not just about the full moon. Think about Mars opposite to Chiron. Mars in Libra opposite to Chiron in Aries. Think about the nodal axis we're in right now. Now is not the time for indecisiveness. There's something within yourself that you need to confront. Confronting that allows for action. You'd be surprised how much harmony that can bring into your life. Sometimes the problem is you're not being straight up with yourself. Today is that day. Cold red, motherfucker, you been tripping. Fuck what everybody else has going on. Sometimes you can beautify your experience by doing what the fuck you want to do regardless of what anybody else thinks about it. Yeah. We in this Aries full moon today. Oh, you don't like me? Fuck you. I'm still doing me. That don't mean go out and attack anybody. That means assertively live your life. Yo. Welcome to some trill shit, bro. And the thing is, harmony is easy to have if you can keep it trill. See, some people create chaos trying to avoid conflict. Nah. Sometimes you just gotta confront that shit. Sometimes you have to assert yourself as diplomatically as possible. Maybe we need to break in the concept of objective assertion. Yeah, I understand you got what you got going on. I understand they got what they going on. But guess what? I'm doing me regardless. You feel me? I'm gonna do me regardless of what the fuck any of y'all have to say about it. Regardless of how anybody feels about it. I'm willing to accept the consequences.
You going crazy.
Sometimes you're not doing yourself justice. I don't think you heard me though. This Aries full moon. It's just asking you to confront something inside of yourself. That helps you live harmoniously in every other area of your life. Just do it. Now I need like 9 more people to hit my like button for me, because we just getting started. Now, when I speak about this full moon, that means the sun and the moon are opposite to each other. So what the ego wants to do and how the individual feels are in conflict. You heard me? Listen to me one more time. On the full moon, you need that emotional release in order to empower yourself. With this is Aries. See, a conflict isn't always a bad thing. A confrontation doesn't always have to be a fight. That's why I said, assert yourself as objectively and diplomatically as possible. That means I understand what you have going on, and I'm not attacking you, but I'm not backing up. And even with your own self, sometimes we sugarcoat shit. Sometimes we get caught up in facades. Sometimes we are way too worried about what the world has going on and what other people feel about our situation.
Acting by night.
So, with this right here, sometimes you just gotta do you. Sometimes that's the best thing for your relationship, is for you to be straight up and for you to start moving assertively instead of dancing around shit. We have a few oppositions going on here in the sky. With the sun and the moon, of course, the nodal axis, with Mars and Chiron, with Mercury and Neptune. So with this right here, there might be more than one situation. But the best thing for you, the most healthy thing you can do, is just confront some stuff and grind out the situation. Today is that day. Now we have that minor eclipse coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that when it comes, because it's going to be kind of setting off a little in conjunction with Uranus that a lot of people are missing out on. But we have a couple of hectic weeks coming up astrologically. Even for me personally, but for the world in general. The sun is gonna and the moon are gonna do its little thing as it moves into Libra. But also Mars and Pluto are going to come into this square in a couple of weeks. It's going to start here in about a week, about 6 days. But it's going to last about 4 to 6 days after that. And that's sneaky. That's Mars in Libra, square to Pluto in Capricorn. So for the people like myself who deal with legal stuff, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you better be careful. You better be fucking careful. Because there's some shit going on behind the scenes. So I'm not telling you to be suspicious. I'm letting you know now you're gonna have to move cautiously. Whoever the fuck you are, whatever you have going on. There could be some hating behind the scenes at people's jobs, some hating in life going on with Mars square to Pluto right there. That, hey, I'm telling you now, you can't act impulsively. You can't be the person that thinks you sniffing it out and go do some stupid shit, because you might be setting yourself up. This is chess, not checkers. So we are coming into some really interesting times here, and this full moon is kind of setting it up for it. Hey, you can't be scared. Nah, don't be scared. Get active. That don't mean be stupid. Libra is here for a reason. Seek advice if you need to. But also understand, sometimes the most harmonious thing you can do is confront things head on. And a confrontation doesn't always mean a conflict. And a conflict isn't always a bad thing. And a conflict don't always mean a motherfucking fight. But if it does, make sure you keep your hands up and keep your chin down. Never forget Libra is cardinal. It's just about making the right decision. There's a balance here that needs to be achieved. Keep it weeble. Cherry. What it was. Now, that brings us to Mercury. And Mercury is now sitting at 20 degrees of Virgo. And I love that for myself. I really do. Because that means Mercury's trining my Mars, or it's forming this little grand trine with Mercury, Uranus, and my Mars at 21 degrees of Capricorn. And I need that because Mars is square to my Mars. So I can think the situation through. But when it comes to you, Mars is trying to Uranus. So Mars in Virgo trying to, I'm not Mars, Mercury's trying to Uranus, pardon me. I was thinking about my Mars, so I did mess up right there. Mercury is trying to Uranus. And so when you think about Mercury in Virgo trying to Uranus in Taurus, even retrograde, let me put you on game with this. Because Uranus being in Taurus might actually be helped by the retrograde, because Uranus falls in Taurus, so it might not be as fucked up as it could be, and that's where people get lulled into a comfortable place. But we'll talk about that when we get to Uranus. With this here, Mercury trying to Uranus, this is calm, rational mindsets, allowing for genius level thinking. Mercury trying to Uranus can bring incredible insight. Just like that. But you cannot allow your nerves to get the best of you with this right here. So the beautiful thing about this trine is it can calm you the fuck down. Allow you to see things for what they really are, which allows you to make the right decision, which could end up being profitable for you, or it could help you prosper in the very least, in some way. See, profit is about material things. Prospering can transport out to all different areas of life. You can prosper within your relationships. You can prosper with your health. But you got to check what it's doing for you. Funny for me, this is at 12th house trying to my 8th house. So there's some internal shit going on here. Let's just hope it ain't killing me. But yeah, Mercury trying to Uranus is a calm, rational mindset, allowing for genius level thinking. Let's do that for you. Now, that right there brings us to Venus. And we're at this critical, crucial 22nd degree. So Venus is sitting at 22 degrees of Leo. So, hold up, I almost knocked my whole setup. Down, hold up. So, with Mercury sitting at 22 degrees of Leo, it's time to instill confidence in self. It's time to instill confidence in your relationships, in your creative endeavors, in your financial situation. How do you do that? By paying more attention to it. I'm not talking about foolish pride. I'm talking about taking pride in the things that are special to you. The people that are special to you. The talents that are special and unique to you. Take pride in those. Doing that can change your motherfucking life. Doing that can change your motherfucking relationship. It can change your financial situation. See, my son is born at 22 degrees of Leo. And as I said, he's not that loud, boisterous Leo energy. Nah, he's cool, calm, collected, quiet confidence, and it's real. He's solid. He's my son. And he's way more solid than I ever was. Always has been. He has that Mufasa type energy. I remember one time I had a crisis going on and I was flipping the fuck out and my son just calmly went and handled the shit right in front of me. He was 12 years old. No, now he might have been 11 even. But there was a situation, and I'm usually the best one in the crisis. I keep calm and I help everybody else stay calm. But in this situation, something happened and I felt some type of way. And he just calmly went up and handled it. See, that's real confidence. It's not foolish pride. So with the 22nd degree of Leo here, what you need to do is allow your love to instill confidence. If you love something, take pride in it. If you love somebody, pay attention to them. Make them feel special. For those talents that are central to your character, hone those. Allow your love to bring out the artiste in you. And if the love can't do it, I can. That's what I'm here for. Now, that does right there bring us to Mars. Now, Venus is sextile to Mars still, and Venus has been rolling with this sextile to Mars for a while now. So, with Leo and Libra, that's beautiful creative energy. It's finesse, not flex. Do you feel me? Sun Goddess, how you doing, by the way? See, this is finesse, not flex, baby. I don't think you heard me, though. This is finesse, not flex. Sometimes you have to learn the priceless talent of allowing things to come to you. See, you ain't got to take nothing.
Okay, G-Wiz guy.
I I don't think you understand that you can make people insist that you have things. I'm doing excellent. See, I'm naturally like this. But maybe it's because my Venus in Leo is sextile to my Libra ascendant. And that Venus in Leo is my chart ruler. So with that right here, I understand finesse. That's my natural mode of operation. When I get angry and I allow myself to move sloppily, that's when I make mistakes. So when I'm cool, calm, collected, I'm unfuckwittable. Now with Venus sextile to Mars, and Mars being in Libra, what you do is you utilize that Mars and Libra energy, that reactionary energy. Instead of allowing it to fuck you up and create frustration, what you do is create art. Even in relationships, in passionate situations, baby, you can do it. Take your time and do it right. I don't think you heard me though. I need like 3 more people to hit that like button for me before I get mad and go home. I'm gonna take my motherfucking talents and skills and my gifts. I'm gonna go in there and talk to my lady till she tells me to shut up and go to work. And then I'll be right back in here with you. Now, Venus is still square to Uranus. So you do have to understand, like I've said several times here recently, and Venus is exactly square to Uranus today. So this is one of those critical and crucial times, especially within our relationships, where, hey, you need to make sure that if you're involved with somebody, that they feel valued, that they feel special. Because if you don't, you can see somebody acting out of character. Venus square to Uranus could present that energy where somebody gets a wild hair up their ass. Now with this, it's about attention. It's about feeling special. This is Leo and Taurus. It's about value. So if somebody's not feeling special or not feeling loved, they're not getting enough affection, if you're not paying enough attention to them, if they don't feel valued, then they could easily do something that's against their normal values. This is one of those times. And then they're like, man, I can't believe I did that. It's a full moon. You fucked around and acted on impulse. That Aries got the best of you. You wanted it. But you should have assertively and objectively addressed your needs. I don't think you heard me though. And then, let me turn this down just a little bit right here. Now, that right there, that does bring us to Mars. And Mars is sitting at 21 degrees of Libra. And Mars is in detriment in Libra. So this is not the best energy for Mars. And it's just because it's so reactionary. It's so responsive. It's not assertive. It's, what are the 3 phrases I've told y'all over the last month that Mars has been in Libra? It's easily influenced. It's easily impressed. And it's over-conciliatory. That leads to frustration because things are accomplished by compromising. But these are not willing compromises. They're frustrated compromises because there's resentment that breeds from those compromises that people make. That leads to frustration, and that leads to them being a bitch to everybody else because they didn't assert themselves in a certain situation. And people are going to show out, people are going to act out of character, but that shit is just reactionary. That's not really how they are. They're just fucked up with themselves. They don't want to feel like a bitch. Mars in Libra is a cardinal conundrum. Because it's there, it's cardinal. It's going to do something about it, but it's reactionary. It's responsive. Like Mars in Cancer is passive aggressive. So with Mars in Capricorn and Mars in Aries, you have something else. With Mars in Aries, that's assertion. With Mars in Capricorn, that's application. We apply our energy effectively. That's what you get with Mars in Capricorn, like myself. That's why Mars is exalted in Capricorn, baby. I apply pressure effectively. Somebody once said, we want to start a cult where the objective is to try to sexually exhaust you. And I said, hold on, baby. Let me tell you something. I have Mars in Capricorn. I don't get exhausted. I do work. But that's the truth. Now, that brings us right there to Jupiter. And Jupiter starts us on this retrograde run. So everything from Jupiter through Chiron is going to be retrograde here. All right? And so, Jupiter is retrograde at 14 degrees of Taurus. Jupiter is going to be retrograde until New Year's Eve. So that right there is laziness, complacency. It's a feeling of being stuck in a place. Hold up, this is somebody else's song. Hold on, this is not the beat I have. Hold on, let me get this off my shit. How did this get on my playlist with my music? Hold up. It won't even turn off. There we go. Hold on. I don't like that. Now, Mars in Leo energy is gonna be bold energy. It's a little ostentatious, but it works out because Mars in Leo approaches everything like it was already theirs, like it belongs to them. And during that energy, what that energy does is it's the bold approach. It's confidence. But sometimes you can be overconfident. Sometimes you can be so confident that you miss certain important details. Now that's what also could come with Mars and Leo. But all the way around, that confidence allows for amazing things. Mars and Leo, if it wants it, it approaches it like it was already is. Now, that right there brings me back to Jupiter in Taurus, because Jupiter in Taurus could also see people's self-esteem get shook for whatever reason. Maybe it has to do with you being broke right now. I know, I kind of feel like that. And it's funny that that's actually square to my Venus in Leo right now. At 12 degrees in my 10th house. So, business been slow. And I'm still working hard, but it does start to affect your confidence. Now, that's the perfect way for me to show that it plays out for me. Now, speaking of which, I want to tell y'all something about the full moon real fast because I forgot something. And I cannot go without leaving this out. So I'm going to leave Jupiter where it is. We're going to come back to Jupiter. But I forgot something I wanted to tell y'all that is a perfect example of this full moon energy. And really what inspired me to come live this morning. Because I wasn't going to come live. Full moons, for me, I try to stick to myself and try to work it out. And so what I saw this morning was a YouTube video by Travis Hunter. Now, a lot of people do know who Travis Hunter is. Some people don't. Travis Hunter is a young man that plays for the University of Colorado for Deion Sanders, which is the most popular college right now. It's not the best football team, but it's the most popular sports program other than the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Travis Hunter is their star player other than Deion's son, Shadur, the quarterback. Travis Hunter plays both sides of the ball. Both wide receiver and cornerback. And he's one of the best in the country at both. And nobody's ever really done that but Deion Sanders himself. Now, that's only important because they played Colorado State a couple of weeks ago. And as they were playing, in the first quarter, the quarterback threw a deep pass to Travis Hunter, and as he was going out, he was hit while he was out of bounds, and then another player came in with a late hit, a dirty hit, and popped him. Ended up actually giving him a lacerated liver, and he had to go to the hospital. He's been out for weeks. He might be out still this week. Dirty play, but it is something that happens in football. That kid should not have done that shit. Either the coach is coaching that, or he's allowing it. Now, that's beside the fact. So the kid hits Travis Hunter. He ends up in the hospital or whatever. And immediately I was angry. I saw it. I was pissed. I was like, man, that was dirty. Fuck that dude, right? Because he went and gave his teammate a fucking handshake right after that. A lot of people didn't see that, but he walked right up to his teammate, shook his hand. Like, yeah, I did that shit. There was a bounty on Travis Hunter. That was a bounty hit. Hey, get him out of the game so we can win. And they had a great game where they almost won, but it would have been different if Travis was playing the whole game. Now, they tried to take Deion's son out too. Now that, like I said, is beside the fact. These are still college kids. He should have been ejected and it should have been a play, right? And so after that game, because Travis Hunter and the University of Colorado is so... Because Travis Hunter and the University of Colorado is so popular nationwide right now, people were very upset that that happened. And so people started sending threats to the young man that hit Travis Hunter. They started sending death threats to his family. They started threatening, hey, bro, your punk ass knocked him. You did that dirty ass shit. We're going to get you. We know where you live. We're going to get you. This was national news. So they started threatening this kid that, you know, did that dirty hit. And for weeks since that's happened, I've actually been angry. And I heard about them threatening the kid, and I felt no remorse. I'm thinking of, and people have came on. Deion Sanders came on and condemned it. Said, "Hey man, this is a kid. There was a football game. We understand it was a late hit, but that happens in football. Like, hey, you don't threaten the kid's family. That was a football game. That kid, we forgive him. We love him. All that shit, right? But I still felt, I was like, man, fuck that. That if he hit him like that and he lacerated that dude's liver and fucked him up like that on a dirty play, he deserves whatever threat. If he shouldn't have did that shit. Like, that's what he was asking for. Like, he didn't give a fuck about his life. What if he would have ruptured something in him? And I understand it's just a football play, but it's the same thing. It was after the play. You hit him after the play. You were trying to hurt him. You could say, oh, he wasn't trying to hurt him, but you were trying to hurt him. When you saw he was hurt, you gave your teammate a high five. And so I've been like, man, fuck that dude. He deserves whatever threats he gets. I hope somebody does whoop his ass. Right? Until this morning, when I'm watching YouTube, getting ready for my morning, and a video comes on from Travis Hunter, and I've never watched any of his videos. I didn't even know he had a YouTube channel, but I saw it had hundreds of thousands of views, and it said Travis Hunter and Henry Blackburn. Henry Blackburn is the kid that hit him. Henry Blackburn is the kid that hit him. And as soon as I turned it on, it's him and the kid that hit him. They're sitting down together right there. First thing he does is, and I know it's really damage control, but because, you know, this guy, Travis Hunter, is such a good guy, and all he says is, come on. He says, hey, man, this is positive. And he's, you know, the guy tries to even tell him, he's like, hey, man, I know you, I wasn't trying to hurt you. And Travis Hunter was like, even if you were, that's football, bro. Like, that's, we run into it. That's what we're supposed to do, is run into each other as hard as we can the whole game. That's how you play American football. And so Travis Hunter, he was just like, man, it's positive. I just want you to know, hey, we here, we finna chill all day, get to know each other. I want to know who you are. I want you to know who I am. And I want us to, you know, to build from that experience, because we're still young men and football players. And this is, you know, this is for God, basically. And this is, you know, and so me watching that, that's why I understood what's going on with this full moon. See, that wasn't a bitch move, even though it was kind of Libra and PR oriented in its own way. But it also was a confrontation. That dude did that to him. But in order to achieve harmony, he confronted this dude by himself. It wasn't like there was a whole bunch of people around. They were just sitting on a bench, him and him. He confronted this dude and he talked to him, and they built a bond. They went and bowled and they hung out all day and shit. Like, he confronted this dude and you know, and it achieved harmony. It brought balance. It was a good thing. Not only did it show what type of character that he has, but it also brought them together. It protected that kid's family. And they made a bond, because at the end of the day, they're just warriors. And so that's the perfect expression of this full moon right here that I wanted to bring y'all, and I forgot to say it a few minutes ago, is sometimes you do have to confront things within self or in situations. Sometimes you can't avoid a conflict, but that is what's needed in order to bring balance into your life. That's what's needed in order to achieve harmony. Confrontation doesn't always have to lead to a conflict, but even if it does, a conflict isn't always a bad thing. Conflicts lead to understanding and empowerment. That always brings harmony, but you got to be straight up with yourself, and you got to be straight up in situations. So I just wanted y'all to understand that's what's going on. Now, back to Jupiter. When you're looking at Jupiter in Taurus, and this energy right here, you have to be patient, but you have to keep grinding. You can't get stuck. You can't get lazy. You can't give up, because you're only giving up on yourself. You're only missing out on your opportunity to be blessed. That's the truth. So you sometimes just have to be patient, stay solid, and keep grinding. It's not always going to be easy. It will get easy again. Jupiter is going to go right back direct in Taurus, and things are kind of easy with Jupiter in Taurus. Thing is going to smooth out, but for right now, you just got to make sure you don't get stuck in a stubborn mindset that keeps you from taking advantage of any opportunities. And maybe you ain't going to get this big breakthrough, but you've also took your time during this, and you stayed patient, you've kept grinding, and things have accumulated for you. So you still have everything that you need, and you're still blessed. Sometimes gratitude is the biggest blessing. Sometimes the realization that you're blessed is the blessing. Now that does bring us to Saturn. And this right here is just about emotions inside of ourselves that we need to deal with, process, not try to avoid, ignore, or escape. Man, there's stuff inside of yourself that you need to deal with. Life is not going to stop doing what life does. That's why we're on the retrograde motion. Things are always going to cycle the way that they cycle. And there's going to be hard times. There's going to be fucked up shit that happens to you that's not fair. There's going to be fucked up shit that happens to other people. And, hey, you're not a fucking victim. You're just a soul having a human experience. And emotions is one of the things that you came here to experience. So sometimes fear, doubt, depression, those are things that we have to deal with. It's like those normal coping mechanisms are not available to us, or they could even be a danger to us. For a lot of people, they can't even do drugs anymore because that shit will kill you now. I mean, it would kill you before, but them motherfuckers really will fuck over you now. You do any type of pill, it's not safe. You do cocaine, it's not safe. You do heroin in powder form in any way, it's not safe. Anytime, because of fentanyl, will be a gamble for you. Because you don't know who you're dealing with, and even if you do, they don't know who they're dealing with. And one misstep in the process of manufacturing, and somebody or a lot of people are dead. Hell, I just saw this morning on the news that 40 pounds of fentanyl is enough to kill 1 million people. And think about the countless people that have already died. My sister is one of them. So the normal coping mechanisms just ain't there right now. And that's because you don't need that. You need to deal with the emotion. See, as I've said before, Saturn in Pisces is all about this deep-seated fear of isolation that comes from emotions from the past. And people get involved more with other people and with society because they don't want to be by themselves. And that need to be more involved, it comes from both that fear and its origin, which is a complete lack of faith in life all the way around. With Saturn and Pisces, people tend to lose faith and look at things from the most negative standpoint. I have. It's been conjunct my moon. If I have a fucking headache, I think I'm dying. If my fucking balls itch, I think that's killing me too. And I'm not even playing. It sounds funny, but I'm that serious. Like, I have a whole day of freaking out to where I fuck up my whole digestive system for a day and a half because I was stressed out about some stupid shit for an hour. Like, I do that. And the problem is, sometimes balls itch. Sometimes you get headaches. Sometimes you get sick. Sometimes you even get really sick to where it's gonna take away your life. But that's just a part of this experience here. That's not something you can avoid. What you need to do is deal with the feeling. Sometimes your family stuff, for the people that have this in their fourth house and shit like that, like sometimes the mistrust that you have in your family and the lies and the delusions that y'all have between each other of who each other are, that's the problem. The feelings that y'all have towards each other is the problem. There's really no issue between y'all. The feeling that y'all have with each other is the problem, and y'all have avoided that for so long that there's discontent between you. When you look at this from people who have it, in the 10th house and shit like that. Like, hey, people underestimate you because you don't ever show who you really are. Nobody really knows. Nobody knows what to expect from you. What's up, Sunbird? So that's the thing with that. Saturn in Pisces, you got to learn how to deal with these feelings inside of yourself. And a lot of the times that's fear. That fucking fear is a motherfucker, man. Take it from me. I've allowed fear to really fuck up my health. Shit ain't what's up. Now, that does bring us to Uranus. And Uranus is sitting retrograde at 22 degrees of Taurus. And Uranus is going to be retrograde until January 27th. So things are going to seem calmer. Things are going to be a lot less chaotic from the financial front. Businesses are going to pick up a little bit for people. We're going to go through the holiday season. And even though some people do hate that season, things are going to seem like they're not as chaotic and everything is back to normal, right? We'll go through the holiday season, as I've been telling y'all, for the people here in America. Then after that, especially for blue-collar people and people who are in the lower economic classes, then is income tax time, which is a time where people get all of the taxes, well, not all of them, but they get a portion of the taxes that they pay back from the federal government, which for most people is the largest sum of money that they get throughout the year. It's the largest sum of money at one time that a lot of people get it throughout the year. At least a lot of people who are not higher up in the economic classes. Now, what that does is it makes people get comfortable. They do things that they normally wouldn't do. And it happens every year with retrograde. But it's especially devastating right here in Taurus, right? Because then all of a sudden, Uranus goes direct right around income tax time, and then all of a sudden all this shit starts happening. And you're not able to do what you needed to do. See, so what you got to do now is take inventory of your material worth and what you have to work with, but also of your values. And say, hey, if I get in a tight spot, I'm not willing to go past this far, because over time, a lot of people have seen their values, especially over the last few years. They've had to. You've had to change your values over the last few years because of the pandemic, because of the way that politics have played out, because of the way that the world is, because of social media. A lot of people entertain and even employ a lot of bullshit that they never would have thought of before all of this. What's up, King Strong? A lot of people. And it's to make money. A lot of people just use social media to connect with people and share memes. But now, everybody's looking at it as an opportunity for them to make some type of money. Everybody wants you to send them stars. Everybody has now put their profile in professional mode. And the powers that be sell it to you. That's why you can pay for a blue check. Now, that does give them access to you and your data. That gives them access to monitor what you have going on also, which they're already doing, but this gives them legal standing to do so. because you are now technically employed by them through that profile. So anything that you are doing with that profile, once you have put that in professional mode, is subject to monitoring. And when you put it in professional mode, you signed up for that. Now that's some Neptune and Pisces shit. But Uranus is sextile to Neptune, so that is worth speaking on in itself. But with this right here, it's just another way for people to make money. And some people would have never considered that before. And some people still to this day, like myself, would never do that. I tell my, and it's a value thing. It's like, I ain't never fucking put my profile on Facebook on professional mode. I do YouTube here, which is what, basically something, but, and it's not because of the monitoring. It's just because that's not what it's there for. And I'm not going to share memes all fucking day and reciprocate the same bullshit like everybody else, which is doing nothing but getting people stuck in the same old fucking stupid mindset. I'm not going to keep recycling the same shit. Because if you're not going to create your own content, which you don't get paid for as much, especially on Facebook and Instagram, you do not get paid as much for your own content as you do for sharing memes and recycling stuff that is trending or stuff that's popular. You would have to be somebody whose content is majorly possible, like, I mean, majorly popular, like the little people, you know, the girls who have dwarfism, the little midget girls with the big booties, they make a lot, they get a lot of attention. And the girl with Tourette's, and who says you're done, who really is just fucking asking for attention and faking ticks, to Maybay and them, constantly begging, to Blueface and them and that nasty ass and trash, to who else? I mean, there's so many. Ashley Elliott and that fake drama with her and her husband and the combat jail and the fucking fake twerking bullshit. Like, man, everybody is a brand. And that's cool. Because the way that the world works now, because of this transition we've had since Uranus has been in Taurus, there's so many unique ways for you to profit. There are so many. If you can just have an open mind, there's so many ways you can make money. Yeah, the situation is chaotic and the market is fucked up and inflation is high as hell and the motherfucking groceries are higher than ever. But you also have way more ways to make money than you ever had before. Your ass just ain't applying yourself, Smokey. What's up, Rav South? What's up, Jason? That's the thing with Uranus and Taurus. Look at the implementation of OnlyFans and that content. And it's not just for the ladies who are doing their thing like local rappers. And I'm not hating on you, but you know who you are. No, what I'm talking about is even the porn stars, not just the porn stars, the actresses, the athletes. They're going to have an OnlyFans account on top of everything else. And not only are they making millions doing whatever they're doing, even the athletes that are in college, but they're also making money off content and off their profiles. Because if you think they're not monetizing their profiles, you fool with that too. You think this person who has their profile monetized and who can get paid $40,000 for uploading a picture and 5 million people liking it, some people up to 15, 20 million people liking it, and then they just made $100,000 just because they took a picture with their little monkey head ass kid? Like, that's the truth. That's the truth, man. That's where we're at right now. But if you're stuck in that old mindset, if you hate the way things are and you're always complaining about the economy and you're always in that fucking stupid ass mindset that a lot of us get stuck in, then you're going to end up missing out on opportunities. And even worse, you're going to end up being devastated by every fucking thing that happens. Everything that happens. if you are not open-minded and adaptable, every little minor annoyance that comes up seems like a devastating experience. And you're not going to be able to get comfortable. Instead, try to find a secure or stable position to operate from. That's Uranus and Taurus. You're not going to be able to get comfortable. Uranus falls in Taurus for a reason. Uranus don't want to be comfortable. But you can profit. But it ain't going to be like how the next person did it. You ain't going to be able to do it like I do it right here, because you ain't got it like I got it right here. But you can do it your own way. You can go make music that's soto. You can have your own channel. You can do your own thing. And hey, you just have to figure out what works for you. Like, there's so many different avenues. All different types of delivery services. It's not just Uber Eats and DoorDash, and it's not just Walmart delivery and FedEx and Amazon Prime. Man, you got what's the thing? You can send them to the store for you and get you some cigars and go get you some snacks from the store. They have delivery services that do that. They have marijuana delivery services in a lot of places. Legal marijuana delivery services, where you can sit at home, order you some bud, and they bring you some top-notch to the crib. Best believe. You know where this came from. Like, there are so many unique ways for you to profit. And then it's not just being a creator, which Taurus energy is about being creative in its own way. It's not just that. But there are so many different businesses that are opened up now. But the old way of doing business is dead because of the way things have happened. A lot of those restaurants that are sit down and stay in their places, they do not operate the same way. Because of COVID and because of health concerns, you can't go to McDonald's and play in the balls no more, like we did when we were kids. When we were kids, you went to McDonald's, there were slides and shit. You go to McDonald's, there's a big old tub of balls in there. And there would be kids from everywhere jumping in that motherfucker, just spreading all types of bacteria and germs and shit. That's why a lot of times, if you just want your kids to get everything at the beginning of the season, you take their ass to McDonald's, let them play. In about a week or so, they got the sniffles, you get that out of the system, and you good for the next 3 or 4 months. Like, that shit used to be like that when we were kids. Now, because of that, you can't just do a lot of those things anymore. The nature of business has changed. And if you're not adaptable, then your ass is going to be stuck and end up fucked and out of luck. Now look at your dumb ass. You hear me? So what you have to do is assess not only what you have to work with and what you're willing to do, but also assess your values. Who are you? What is your character about? Some people who have never considered it before now have their ass on OnlyFans with that rose going hard to the motherfucker. Some people who never thought they would sell drugs now own some of the largest marijuana farms or mushroom groweries in the country. Some people who would never trick, actively looking for a sugar daddy or a sugar mama now. Might have times changed. Now, that does bring us to Neptune. Because Neptune is sitting at 25 degrees of Pisces now. And Neptune is retrograde until December 4th. And man, maybe you need to ask yourself, how caught up in the culture are you? How hard are you trying to trend? A lot of y'all trying way too hard. So hard that you just started living a facade. You forgot who the fuck you are and what your purpose really is. Because you so caught up in doing the same shit everybody else does. All of this shit is regurgitated. All of this shit is just a trend. Even astrology and numerology and tarot and Reiki and all of these things that really could be helpful avenues of understanding and spiritual growth have become fads now. Everything is a fad. And the fads influence everything. They even influence your reality. They control you through the culture. You so caught up in the culture that a motherfucker will tell you the truth and you won't believe it. It's not even about anybody lying to you. It's about you being dazed and confused. And can't nobody else help you with it. You have a main line to the divine that resides inside of you. You need to get in touch with that. Your perspective will always change. No, your perception. I said that wrong. I had to think about it for a second. Your perception will always change, but your perspective doesn't have to, because maybe you need to always try to look at things from a spiritual or a divine or a high perspective. And that's not easy. You're going to make mistakes. And you also are going to feel like that's the worst thing that you can do, because when you look at things from that place, a lot of time you end up looking like a sucker. You end up looking like a fucking sucker. What's up, Mark David Meyer? I appreciate the love. A lot of times you end up feeling like you got took. But that's because you're looking for outside confirmation instead of inner peace. Now, that right there does bring me to Pluto. And Neptune is sextile to Pluto. And with Neptune sextile to Pluto, that's a process that's going on within the world and within each one of us. Now, with the retrograde, like they both are right now, as I've said before, this could actually be a process of discontent and disenchantment growing inside of a lot of people. That breeds mistrust. Mistrust in government, mistrust in self, mistrust in relationships, all of that shit. And then you lose faith in those things. So maybe you need to cut out a lot of the bullshit. And that really takes going through some inner maintenance. That's what this retrograde is. Find out what's serving you and what isn't serving you. Find out what's really helping you and what's really a hindrance to your growth process. And then do whatever you can whatever the fuck you can to get right. Find your muse. See, that's the other end of Neptune sextile to Pluto. Is find your muse. Find out what drives you to keep grinding. See, times are hard. Pluto's in Capricorn. Pluto's at 27 degrees of Capricorn, and Mars is coming into square soon. Like I said. And so, with this right here, and Pluto still being square to the nodes too. Let's not forget that. People don't speak on that a lot, but I'm here to do it. Pluto's square to the nodes, they're forcing out situations. It's forcing out feelings. Pluto being square to the north and the south node is like, hey, times are hard. So times are so hard right now. People usually do what they're comfortable doing, and that's going into those codependent ways. That means trying to find some type of way for somebody to help you, or find some type of way for you to avoid what's going on, or to sugarcoat the situation. It's real easy to do that. Let me go to my happy place, right? Where it's all pretty. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Life ain't fucking pretty. Pluto's in Capricorn. Life ain't pretty. It's gritty. That gritty, shitty bullshit we're experiencing now with Pluto and Capricorn, it brings out that radical change when Pluto gets back to Aquarius here soon. It's like, hey man, we got to do something different. But right now, this is where that disenchantment and discontent grows inside of you. Now, that doesn't have to be something that destroys you. This is where it can also push some people to find why it's all fucking worth it. It can make you want to really get in and become a warrior in your experience and confront things head on. And sometimes you just got to go to work. See, that's the choice you got to make. With Pluto square to the north node in Aries, sometimes hard times are also meant to bring out the warrior in you. Sometimes you got to say, you know what? Fuck what everybody else thinks. Fuck the opinions, moods, thoughts, and influence that other people try to impart on me. And right here, this is where I take my own life into my own hands. This is where I become straight up with myself and I start tackling things head on. See, your truth has to be what comes out of you. And that's always a good thing, regardless of how anybody else feels about it. That's what the North Node in Aries is about. And you got to experience it. You can't just speak it, think it. You got to experience it. And sometimes that ain't always fun. Sometimes it ain't always pretty. That's the truth. Sometimes you got to do it by yourself. Like for me, this is in my 7th house. You got to understand, and I'm in a nodal return. As I've told y'all several times before, I'm in an exact nodal return right now. Well, really, no, I'm past exact. I'm 27 degrees. But Pluto's exactly square to my nodes. And Mars is coming into that south node conjunction for me as it's square to Pluto at the same time. And so even the best thing for my relationships is for me to be straight up, to assert myself, to be self-sufficient. As I told y'all, it's crazy that right now at this moment in time, my lady who's a Capricorn, she's always had a career, but she's going through a transition from job to job and she's doing her thing. So I have to step up. I have to step up. It's the perfect opportunity for me to do so. But that requires action. Doing so makes things better. Now, that right there also brings us to Chiron. And Mars in Libra is opposite to Chiron in Aries. So, hey, you got to hold yourself accountable for the times that you didn't step up, you didn't step in. Even for the things that you allowed. See, sometimes you walk around here mad, you got frustration, but it's really with yourself because you allowed some bullshit in your life, especially within our relationships or within our business situations or at our job or wherever it is, because we wanted to do the right thing. And that's cool. But if you didn't get the results that you wanted, you also have to hold yourself accountable for that. And that's growth. That brings healing. When you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? That one's on me. That's when you've activated this Chiron. When you realize you gave in too easy. When you realize you really didn't even try at all. That brings something else inside of you. It breeds something else. It breeds courage, empowerment that allows for action. And see, Chiron is retrograde until the day after Christmas. So for those in the UK, Boxing Day. So with Chiron doing this, what that brings us to is accountability. Chiron direct is awareness and action. Chiron retrograde is accountability. What the fuck you trying to do? I don't think you heard me. Hold on. I gotta type this in real fast, y'all. Damn, I'm back up. I can't even spell my name right. There we go. But yeah, that's what Chiron's about right now, is accountability, baby. And then that right there brings us to the Black Moon Lilith, which is sitting at 29 degrees of Leo. And it's ironic that we got all of this going on, because sometimes in order for you to be your most authentic self, you might have to have a humbling experience. Now, a humbling experience doesn't have to be you dealing with somebody else and them beating you. It doesn't have to be somebody humiliating you. All right? A humbling experience could merely mean that you realize that there's some weak shit about yourself. You realizing that there's some shit you need to work on. See, acceptance of that can breed real confidence. It's like this. Y'all know on 8 Mile, on the last part, when Eminem comes, or B Rabbit, if you want to call him that, his character, when he comes in and he had already accepted everything fucked up about himself when he looked in the mirror, and he went ahead and let the world know, or let the room know about himself, so old boy couldn't say shit bad about him. He let him know about himself and him too. And I'm going to tell you all about me, and I'm going to tell you about you. Me telling you about me really says a lot about you with your fake ass. And so with this, there's a lot of fucking hate. There's a lot of people who are going to try to take you down a few pegs. But if you're willing to accept your own transgressions and weaknesses, then can't nobody take you down, because you have real confidence. You understand that. They ain't doing nothing but talking then. Nobody ever has the upper hand when you accept your weaknesses. And that's not always easy to do because a lot of people are too caught up in this character that they're playing. That's why this 29th degree right here is interesting. Because if you can address your character flaws, first accept and then address, then you ain't never gonna be in a mess. But if you the type of person who's faking the front, you always gonna be followed by drama. And this is gonna bring drama. We're at that 29th degree, baby. This is anoretic. So I don't even have to be prophetic to let you know that the 29th degree of Leo brings drama. And we're going to overanalyze all this drama we experience when we get to Virgo. And that's fine. Over-criticize, overanalyze. But this right here is where motherfuckers show their ass. And I don't know why I reacted like that. You would if you accepted your character flaws and you understood your triggers and you understood why you felt it was necessary for you to project. Pisces and Neptune reflects. Leo projects. Now, I need a few more people to hit my like button for me. And that does bring us to the nodes. And the nodes are sitting at 24 degrees of Aries and Libra. So we're once again on this Aries and Libra axis. So the fact is, you're going to see a lot of people going back into their codependent ways. You're going to see a lot of people seeming a lot more wishy-washy than they've ever been before. You're going to see a whole bunch of motherfuckers working behind the scenes and playing politics. And hey, that's cool for them. Just don't let it be you. See, sometimes the most harmonious thing you can do for yourself is do what the fuck you want to do. Do what the fuck you need to do for you, regardless of what anybody else has going on. Sometimes you need to confront life head on. Leave it like that. Now, that does bring us to the numerology of the day. And let me see where we're at. It's September 29th, right? So that's a 9. So we all know how to do this together. I like to teach while I preach. So that's a 9, right? Because it's still September. And then the 29 is an 11. And you don't simplify an 11. So 9, 11, and then a 7. Because 2023 adds up to a 7. So 20, 27, 2 plus 7 is a 9. So we're in that 9 vibration today. But it is a divine day because there is an 11 connotation to it because the date is the 29th. So, with this I tell you, be inspired. Be open to the experience. Be open to whatever comes to you, the inspiration that comes today, because not only might it help you out, but it also might help other people. Because if you just focus on being a better person, and I just focus on being a better person, and the next motherfucker just focus on being a better person, and then the person after that, and that person after that, and everybody stop being so worried about what everybody else has going on and what everybody else thinks, what everybody else is doing, and we just worked on our own growth, the world would be a better fucking place. But that's something that's lost on people. Everybody's supposed to be spiritual. Everybody's supposed to be, but the world is more fucked up than ever. It's because everybody's just doing it. Nobody's putting the action into it. See, there's Aries and Libra too. Art in action. And I think that's all I got to say about that. So what I'm going to do, let me put this down, is I'm going to open the floor for questions. But before I can do that, I have to pee, y'all. So I need y'all to give me like 30 seconds to 1 minute. I'm going to go in here and use the restroom real fast. And then I'm going to come back and answer any questions y'all have. Please don't check out. But I've been drinking a whole bunch of water this morning and I got to pee-pee. I got to pee like Forrest Gump did after he drank all them Dr. Peppers, baby. So I will be right back. Y'all enjoy the vibe until I come through.
My daddy made that beat, boy.
Yeah. Hey, and before I go any further, I also need a whole bunch of y'all to go check out my video on the astrology of Jermell Iron Man Charlo versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. And that's the fight going down this weekend. It's undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. I took the time, I broke down both of their charts, really. Like I didn't go all the way in, but I broke down most of their charts, both of them completely. And then I looked at the astrology of the night in question, and I put that together, and I brought a prediction into the mix. So even if you're not a fight fan, and you don't watch boxing, and you don't even know who these guys are, at least from the astrology perspective, you can really go watch that and get an appreciation for the way I came with it. Now, for those of you that are gambling and those of you that are into that, hey, I would go watch it too, because I might put you up on some game. Hold on, let me see who this is. But yeah, go check that out for real for me. Write that trick of love, little. Write that trick of love, little. Ah. But yeah, I'm not happy with the amount of views I've got on that video, because I did Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, and I got 1,000 views in 24 hours. easy, which I could have got. I should have got way more than that. But this one, like, it ain't doing the numbers I needed to do. And the fight is tomorrow. Hey, that's that Aries moon vibe right there. Hey, the floor is open for any questions y'all have. I'm gonna be here for like 20 more minutes and then I gotta go. That's that fire. For real. I forgot what this strain is called. It's like C13 haze or something like that. But it's like 36% THC, so that's hitting on something. Nice little sativa. When did Saturn go into Pisces? Shit. In March. Saturn went into Pisces in March. Pluto went into Aquarius and Saturn went into Pisces in March. Pluto only stayed into Aquarius. No, it might have went into February for a few weeks and then it retrograde back into Capricorn. Saturn has been in Pisces. My bad. I don't know why I said Mars. But Saturn has been in Pisces, since March. And Saturn is going to retrograde to 0 degrees, which is stationing right now. It's not going to move very much. So over the next week or two, it's going to station at 0 degrees. And then it's going to shoot back through Pisces again once it goes direct on November 4th. And so this is just a little break for a lot of people. This is not your motherfucking your Saturn return being over with, or this is not Saturn coming off your moon like me, you know. It's just easing up a little bit so it can apply pressure for real. Like, we done warned you that you need to work on this shit. We done told you that the fear is the issue. Well, whether you scared or not, it's coming now. You hear me? Before, it was like a warning, like, hey, man, I'm trying to tell you, you better deal, you better get. And so the fear came. It's like, oh, shit. So now the fear is coming. And it's like, you either deal with the fear because the situation is coming regardless. And you're going to have to process it, whether you're ready to or not. So it's best now to deal with the feelings, the emotions. So when life plays out, you don't lose faith. Now, Throne, you said, can I explain Mars transit in your 4th house, conjunct your natal Chiron in Libra? Yeah. You're too nice sometimes. And hold up, let me fix this, man. I don't know why this shit keeps coming on my fucking shit, man. This should not be on my fucking playlist. Now, with Mars transiting your 4th house, you know, maybe it's because the way that you were raised, maybe because of a lot of, and you have Mars, you know, with Mars in your 4th house, that does make you feel some type of way inside yourself. Sometimes it's like it's not just like a discontent with like Pluto, but it's like a frustrated feeling with yourself. But you can start feeling like you're too nice. And maybe you were raised to have certain manners and you were raised to treat people a certain way, but there's also some times where that's made you give in when you didn't need to give in, or where you've allowed some shit that you felt like you shouldn't allow. So over this time, like, you start to get frustrated inside of yourself. And so you start to feel some type of way, and you can start to be a little bit more assertive from here on out, or aggressive, just because this time made you feel like that. Like, I have Mars in the 4th house natally. So even though I'm a cool person, there is always a certain aggression that's inside of me because of Mars being in my 4th house. Always has been. And so with Mars going through your 4th house, it kind of brings this aggression inside of you that comes from you being too nice, crazy as it is. And so you're too nice. You were raised a certain type of way. You have a certain value system, but that right there, it doesn't always serve you, and you don't always get what you want. A lot of times you end up getting your second choice, or you end up doing what everybody else wants to do because you settled, or because you just went along with the flow, or because you didn't want to cause a stir. And so you're gonna have to learn how to kind of, if you don't want that feeling inside of yourself to make difficult situations happen in your life. And once again, that's just a growth process you're going through, because you do have Aries going up there in that 10th house on the other side of this, and the North Node is there, and Chiron is there, and so you got to look at it like that. Like, Chiron, the North Node, all that shit is coming together right there in Aries on the other end of this Libra energy. So for you to really grow, and for you to be your best self, and for you to be in your most powerful form, it just comes from you confront things and taking things head first in your life. And it's funny that we're going through a full moon today, that this full moon could actually bring that about for you. So that's an area of your life that I think is with that. And you gotta, if this is conjunct your natal Chiron, then that means you have a Chiron opposition going on. Chiron in the sky is opposing your natal Chiron, and then Mars is bringing energy to that opposition. So look at it like that. Now, Earth Shaker, how you doing, my boy? I appreciate the love. Hey, I appreciate you, Mark David Meyer, if you're still here, man, and I hope you are. But I appreciate the love, bro, for real, on the Cash App. And everybody else, I love you. YouTube takes 40% of everything you donate on this bitch. Please send it to the Cash App instead, or the Venmo, or the PayPal at this moment, because YouTube ain't doing nothing but running dick in me and robbing me blind. Now, Kayana, you said, is there a way that I have any tips on finding out someone's time of birth without asking them to go to the courthouses, which is what we would do here in the United States, or finding their birth certificate? I can rectify birth charts. I wouldn't necessarily find their time of birth per se, but I would find out what their rising sign is by rectifying certain things within their chart. So yes, there is chart rectification in order to find a rising sign, but it's never exact, and you can't bank on its accuracy. You cannot bank on its accuracy. But I have actually never made a mistake in rectifying a chart, though. I don't want to say that also. Like, when I've rectified a chart, I've always been right. But I would also say a lot of the charts that I rectify are with people that I already know. All right. So it's like I'm understanding that. Yeah, it's hard to determine. Don't go off appearance, because you might have a Gemini rising who looks every which way. Every which way. And a Libra rising, as long as they're symmetrical, can look like any rising sign. You understand? So it's the truth. I mean, do I look like a Libra rising with Pluto in the 1st house? And is it a look or is it a feeling? Ask yourself that. Now,
Play me some Pippin, man.
we got 10, 15 more minutes and then I gotta go, y'all. So let's make the most of it. 10 to 15 more minutes and then I got to go. Those are not sneakers. Oh, I do have sneakers in the back. Back there on the ground. Those are hats. Those are sneakers down there. This is just a chill room. There's different appearances. I come from different places. You paying too much attention to that right there. Now, let me answer Mystic Raven's medicine. You said if you're an 8th house sun, right? And you said and your sun falls into a mentor's 10th house. How does your 8th house show up in another's 10th house and etc.? Well, it shows up as a sextile. Because you feel some type of way and you aspire to be like that person, so that right there can inspire deep transformations within yourself. This being a mentor, this being someone who there's some traits of theirs that you want to learn about, or things from them that you want to incorporate into yourself, that involves a certain ambition. And so that ambition breeds transformation, and vice versa. So that's perfectly aligned right there. That's sextile. It's beautiful. Now, Ebony, you said what potential benefits from natal Pisces, Mars, ascendant, 8th house, Pluto, Scorpio, 10th house, Neptune and Capricorn, with the current transit of Neptune, Saturn and Pisces, Pluto and Capricorn. So your 8th house, Pluto, 10th house, Neptune and Capricorn, you're a Pisces, Mars ascendant. Well, my son is a Pisces, Mars ascendant, so I know that energy very well. Well, my son has everything on his ascendant, really. Not just he has his sun, Venus, Mars, and because he's a 2 degrees Pisces rising, so all around his ascendant, he has Aquarius placements and Pisces placements. You understand, the Aquarius placements in the 12th house, the Pisces placements in the 1st house. So he has Venus, Mars, Neptune, all that shit in his 1st house in Pisces, with Uranus, Mercury, and a few other things in his 12th house in Aquarius, but they're all conjunct his ascendant within 6 or 7 degrees of each other. But when it comes to you and me looking at that would tell me with this current transit of Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn, so Neptune's gonna be coming up across your ascendant, and you know, Saturn in Pisces too. I think this is really about you finding who you really are, you know, regardless of expectations, regardless of, and that's not easy. You know, sometimes self-realization is real hard because a lot of the times you've just done what other people or been what other people expected you to be in certain cases, especially with that Pisces on the ascendant and all of that. So this right here is just a time where, first, with Neptune being sitting there so long and Neptune already been through this, like, you really got caught up in those expectations, or you got caught up in what everybody needed you to be or what everybody needed from you. So now with Saturn right here, you know, through confronting feelings and through hardship a little bit, you kind of figure out who you really are, and that allows you to have more faith in yourself. Now, I would also say with Pluto in Capricorn and in your 10th house, a lot of this is growth. It's just growing you up. You're maturing. It's a part of you maturing. And a part of you maturing is finding out who you really are and what your talents are that, you know, are divine and unique to you away from everybody else. So this is just going to be a time where people's expectations of you are going to be shattered. And that might at first create some confusion inside of yourself, but once you find your purpose, it's empowering and it's maturing, and it's just helping you become who you need to be for the world. Now, let me see who else's question I missed right here. My bad. Young Neff, you said, what should I expect from the full moon? You have a Capricorn moon in the 5th house. The moon will be square your moon, and if that means if a Capricorn moon is in the 5th house, you're probably a Virgo rising or somewhere around there. And so, that would mean Aries is your 8th or 9th house, right? Your 8th house. So this full moon is in your 8th house, right? So you have to find the feeling inside of yourself where you don't give a fuck. As crazy as that sounds, like that right there allows you to enjoy yourself more. And it might even help you relax. Sometimes you just gotta learn how to just go with that feeling you have and let that impulse lead you, and that action lead you into a major transformation or a major empowerment. Even if it might kill you and it leads into danger, from the other end of that, at least you know who you was with this full moon. And really, once again, I just want, as I said, it's not so deep. This is just a full moon. It's not an eclipse. It's not a life-changing event. It's an emotional thing that you need to deal with inside of yourself. So there's something inside of yourself you need to confront, especially in the 8th house. And that's going to be empowering for you. Though that stuff deep inside of yourself, whatever that is, it could be easily brought into conflict right now with this full moon through something that you dealt with other people, or something that in yourself that you're trying to avoid. And so you coming into conflict with this part of yourself, it doesn't do nothing but allow you to confront it and become empowered through that process. But you got to do it. You got to do it. Now, that's just a possibility. It couldn't do nothing to you. It's just a full moon. And we're already through the fullest phase of it. Now, what are my thoughts on Venus and Capricorn square Chiron and Aries in the natal house? Well, Venus in Capricorn is kind of looking for a come up. And Chiron and Aries just is telling you need to fucking depend on yourself, become more self-sufficient. You ain't got to look for somebody else to help you get to the top, or somebody for you to latch on to, or any of that bullshit. You just need to do it yourself. You become the asset. You become the boss. That square is a conflict you work out within yourself, where you go from looking for a boss and being attracted to bosses to being your boss's self, and then being attracted to you. You heard me? Virgo sun, Leo rising, but it's got to be close to there, or there has to be some type of mix with your with that Capricorn being in the 5th house too. Which is definitely a possibility with PrIcElEs. So Aries is either in your 8th or 9th house. If this is early degree Aries, it's probably in your 8th house. And so if it's later degrees Aries, like the North Node, is probably in your 9th house right now, young Nev. Now, Sun Goddess, you said, can I help? And I only got 3 more minutes, y'all, and then I gotta go. So we're gonna make this day right here. And everybody else, if you love me, tell me you love me, and I'll be back in a couple of days. I'll be back on Monday with a top 5. But what I need you to do now is love me, hit that motherfucking CashApp, shoot some business my way, because I fucking need it. And let me answer this one last question, all right? Bro, I'm the best. I know it's very, very braggadocious of me to say that, and there are some awesome astrologers, but I am one of the best. Now, Sun Goddess, let me answer your question real fast. Trivia already answered your question. Mars in Leo in the 6th house. Yeah, you have to be more confident. If you be more confident and you get outside more, you be more active, and you have more fun, you'll be more healthy. Plain and simple. You have to learn how to relax, have more fun, be more confident, and that will help you be a lot more healthy. Your health is directly related to how active you are with Mars there in the 6th. Because if you're not active enough, and if you're not feeling good, then it's rough. It's rough. My Cash App should be pinned. It's pinned at the top of the message. It's pinned right here. My Cash App should be pinned in the comments. You either got to look at the top, it's somewhere pinned here. And for any of y'all interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't get at me in my comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And I need the business. My family needs it. All right? And you ain't doing nothing but helping yourself. Now, I think that's all I got to say about that. I love y'all. Hold up, I should have put it on live chat. I was only getting the top chat. But, hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, though. This has been an amazing experience. I'll talk to y'all soon. Keep it real.